Well, I'm out here back one of the far corners of the backyard by a lemon tree. And I'm set up to do routering on these doors. Um, this is the by far the messiest part of the operation. I mean, it just leaves chips all over the place, and I don't want to be cleaning up. So out here, I'll just leave them on the ground as they fall. Um, the the router has been set up, and piece is secured to this makeshift table here, and I use these are kind of helpful. This is this stuff you can buy out of a wood store, used for this application for using a routing a piece of wood or whatever, and you put this on the flat surface and you put your piece on this stuff and it kind of keeps it in place. Well, it generally does, but this material here is so slippery that you can't really trust anything, so you have to use your own judgment in all this. And as you can see, I've kind of rigged up some clamps, and got this stuff down here. This, by the way, I think it's the same kind of material you can get in home stores. They use the bottoms of drawers and things. So you probably could save some money if you want to get that drawer line and stuff instead of this specific material here. Okay, well, we'll get to it. I'm only going to do a little corner. Just a little safety tip here: wear your glasses and blah blah blah. The front guard of this is gone. I don't know where it is. Lost it somewhere along the line. So the idea being is just keep safety glasses, keep your face and everything away from it, and a little bit of common sense, and you should be all right. Anyhow, I'm going to start off back here in this far corner. Oh yeah, make sure your piece isn't wobbly. If it starts to wobble, you're going to get an inaccurate bevel on it, and that's not going to look good. And anyway, here we go. And that's just a little section here. I'll do the rest of it off camera. And you can see these are nice quarter round on the edges. The rest of the door is going to look like that. And here we are, all 13 of them cut, corners rounded, and quarter round edge put on all four sides of every piece. I'm pleasantly surprised and quite happy. They all came out looking pretty good and accurate, for no other reason than I don't have any spares. And if I ruined one, it's going to throw a monkey wrench into the whole operation. So the next stage here is to move on to the installation process, which is of course going to be a bit of a trick. Well, the latches are being installed, but you can see there's a bit of an issue here as far as slackness goes. Obviously, it relates back to the fact that these new doors are thinner by a little bit about 1/8 of an inch than the original doors. So there's a gap up here that has to be dealt with. And I was thinking about this, putting something plastic in there as a kind of a buffer, but I came up with a different solution, and I'll show you what that is right now. And speaking of a solution, this is what I decided. Put a little machine screw. This happens to be a 632 machine screw in here. Tapped, threaded, drilled the hole, tapped and threaded right there. And seems to work pretty good actually. There we go. No rattling, no real vibration. And of course I doing that with all of them. It doesn't look too obtrusive. The little screw doesn't look too obtrusive. I think it's going to work pretty nicely. And get them all done. Well, here it is 3 weeks later, and the doors are done. They all came out pretty nice looking, I think. I made a few changes to my original conceptual design. I'm not going to tell you about them, of course. Private stuff. But I think the doors all came out looking pretty damn nice. And I'm quite happy with the end results. I still got something to finish on the microwave oven door here. These little, I made these little buffers up. They're going to go down here. They're ground down to an angle, so they'll rest on the slope of this non-stress point down here somewhere, I think. I like this better than the chain. I'm just gonna, there we go, there we go. I like this better than the chain aspect, because the chain just, I don't know, just doesn't do anything. It's kind of ugly looking. The microwave sits in there nice. Got a new GFI up there. And I did change out the doors, but I didn't change, well, I really didn't change out the doors. What I did was I painted them. But I tried different types of paints on this existing MDF stuff, and I wasn't too happy with the results. I went to the home store, and myself and a paint specialist overlooked, and they recommended something, actually something pretty interesting, and it's more the kind of stuff you use on countertops, and the color matches the new doors I put in for the new cover doors here. So the color matches really good. I mean, I'm really quite pleased with the matchup. It's damn near hard to distinguish the difference between these old doors that have been refinished and these new ones. A couple little bits of hardware on here. These stainless hinges are really spring-loaded hinges are really good. And whenever I replace any screws of any kind, unless there's a reason to use brass, I'd rather use stainless. Anything that's zinc coated, I just throw it away and use stainless instead. I like the little captain's mirror in the marine bathroom here. It looks pretty good. One of the things about these trails, I don't know if it's specific to this one or if it's indicative to all of them, is that here there's like a gap. When you close the door, you see like a gap right in there, which, where is it? Oh, there's my finger there. So I put this filler piece in here at the back, and it really helps to close up that gap. Does a nice job there. The other thing is the floor. Now, I took some before pictures of the floor, and I mean, I was really quite disgusting. What they did, now I don't know if this is pretty standard, but I never seen it before. But what the previous owners did was they laid these 12 by 12 vinyl tiles on top of the existing carpet. The carpet is contact cemented to the floor of the travel trailer. So they laid it on top and just sort of like left, and I thought, you gotta be kidding. So when I took it apart, it actually came up pretty easy. Even the carpet came up pretty easy off of the floor. But as a bit of a trick, I put in this new flooring, as you can see, and I like it better. Other people have seen it, seem to like it. It's a bit of a trick getting the holes lined up, and I put this diamond plate over these kick areas, like right here. Put in this new diamond plate. Diamond plate. Now, yeah, you got to be really careful about lining up these holes, by the way, if you do this kind of project yourself, because apparently, for some reason, I don't know why, they don't line up the upper plate with the lower plate. So this hole that goes actually through the floor of the trailer, and in this particular one, and along with the other ones too, is set back for some reason. I don't understand it myself. Logically, I would drop a plumb line if this trailer was level. Drop a plumb line down, and find a hole, which is actually really right about here somewhere. But you don't want to mess around with the structural integrity of the trailer. There's already a hole drilled there. You have to reuse it. Therefore, this stand is kind of sitting in here at a bit of an angle. But it's not the end of the world. And it seems to work. It's fairly stable. If you shake on that, it seems holds pretty good. And there's really nothing at the back holding it up. So that's kind of odd. Anyway, it defies logic of physics, like the bumblebee. So anyways, this is it. Pretty much finished. And the biggest trick with this, of course, is the floor trimming. They used originally. They seem to use this. This, I think it's probably standard because I've seen it in other casitas. This this stuff here that's like a body side molding, goes on automobiles. A lot of the, see that? Yeah, this trailer is going to be cleaned, scrubbed clean, big time. Now most of the work has been done. It's cleanup time, and that includes shampooing the walls. But that is actually, that area there is pretty clean compared to what was down on the floor. It was so rotten, and they used a combination. They ripped it up before because it's a combination of rivets and those square-headed screws, which I really don't like. So this is going to be scrubbed and cleaned. But the floor trimming, skirting, you want to call it, whatever, I had to throw that away because it was just so rotten and ugly. And it was, the previous owners had put silicone all over the damn thing, so I don't understand that. So I use this stuff here. Now you're asking yourself, well, what is that stuff? Well, actually the floor trimming itself, the original body side molding, you can buy it. I found it online. The bottom line is that it's pretty expensive when you're covering this area here. And this is about, oh, it's a bit more than 20 feet. So I went to the home store, of course, and looked around. I went to home, and I found this stuff. This is standard commercial type skirting. The trouble is that it's when you buy it, it's like about 4 inches thick, wide. I'm sorry, not thick. You know, it's only like about a little over 1/16 of an inch thick. 4 inches wide. That's way too big for this application. So what I did was, I built a little jig to trim this stuff down, and I'll show you that right now.